here's everything you need to know about housing in Lord of the Rings Online. So just to kind of give you a rundown of what you can expect from this video, we're going to talk about what requirements you need to get a house, the difference between a regular versus premium house, overall how the housing system works, like how you can add in decorations, how you can change your permissions for people, and of course what happens if you fail to pay your house or if you abandon your house. So let's start off with the basic question of why would anyone even want a house in Lord of the Rings Online? What benefits are there? Well, obviously, it's a fun time to have a house because you can decorate it as you'd like, can kind of personalize it, make it your own, customize it to whatever you feel. But the huge perk about housing, in my opinion, is that you get increased storage space. So you do get your own housing chest with any house that you purchase. And then of course, it's also an extra milestone or almost like an extra port that you get because every house in their neighborhood will have almost like a hub that'll allow you to go to a far-ranging stable, and then you can obviously pretty much travel to a lot of different areas in Middle Earth with that stable master, of course. Or you even have like your bank, you have your escrow, you should even have an auction hall in your neighborhood. So overall, it's just a good place to have a more centralized hub for you to kind of get around or get access to things, especially like with your house. You'll even have access to a mailbox if you do need it, if you're not currently a VIP as well. So it just has a lot of those sorts of benefits. But kind of going back to the housing storage, with a house, you can actually have a max of 195 slots. Could you imagine if you could have 195 more slots in your inventory? Well, you can with a house. And then even with the kinship houses, you can go up to a max of 255. So just imagine having all of this extra slot space, and like you could put anything in it. It's not restricted to just housing items. You can put almost anything in it, like crafting items, task items, you name it, you can put it in there. So those two reasons are super big, but there are also other reasons why other players like to have houses, but those are just really the huge benefits from that point forward. Like you'll get an extra milestone so you can kind of go and port around places faster, and also for the storage, like I've highly specified. Now let's talk about the requirements of what you need in order to buy a house. Well, you need some sort of in-game currency and at least a level 15 character to purchase the house. So a big thing about housing is that there are two types of houses that you can get. You can get a regular house, is kind of how they have been referred to as. That's essentially like the original housing system that was in place in the early days of the game that still exists. And now there are also premium houses that just offer way more space for you and also have way bigger areas or hubs in their vicinity as well. So it's kind of like a step up from the original housing system, but the original housing system still exists, like I mentioned. But now premium houses also have a different currency as well to use or pay for them for. So the big difference between a regular house and a premium house that you'll be able to tell, besides like, you know, how many hooks of interior stuff you'll be able to use or even exterior hooks that you'll be able to use, the biggest difference is the currency. So with a regular house, you can actually just use like in-game gold in order to purchase a house. But with the premium houses, you have to use two different types of currency. You can use mithril coins or writs. The only way that you can get mithril coins or writs are essentially through purchasing them in the LOTRO store. With mithril coins, you can potentially get them on Hobbit gifts, but it's super duper rare now. So more or less you have to use your LOTRO points in order to get these currencies. Regular housing is available in 4 different areas. So you can actually get a house in Breeland. It's kind of in between the Lonelands and Bree-Town. It's right over by the marshes. Then there's the Shire, which is super close to the horse racing area. And then for Ered Luin, there's actually 2 different spaces, but one's for the elf side, which is right across the road from Dwayland. I think that's how you say it. And then the other area in Ered Luin is for the dwarves, which is right outside of Thorin's Hall. That is also available to purchase a regular home as well. For premium houses, they're actually more in the higher level areas. That doesn't mean that you have to be a high level in order to get them. It just means that that's just where they've been at this time. So the first set of premium houses that ever came out was at Belfalis, which is right outside of Gondor. And then there's also the housing area in the Kingstead Meadows, which is pretty much outside of Edoras, but like more outward, I would say. And then Eastfold is the other area, which is behind Edoras, more or less. And then there's also Erebor, which is another like dwarvish-like homestead area in the mountain. It's super cool. And then Lindleby is the latest, which is a Hobbit premium housing area. So cool. And we also are going to get Rivendell housing, which I am excited for, but we can't say anything for that yet. But it should be coming out maybe sooner than we think. I don't know. But those are the current premium houses, with Rivendell on the rise at some point. Oh, I can't wait. Premium houses do have more interior or exterior hooks, or even other types of hooks available for you, which hooks almost refer to areas that you are able to place in certain decorations. And also with premium houses too, some of them do have really unique features. So I know with like premium houses, you can actually, some of them, you can have like sky boxes, which allow you to change your sky or almost like your climate to react as similar to what the climate or almost the location is that your skybox is set for. So like, for example, I have one in Foracal. So like at night, if Foracal is doing its very pretty like Northern Lights thing, I can actually put on my skybox in my house. And if it's nighttime in Foracal, like it will reflect that on my skybox. Like it'll look like I have the Northern Lights experience. It's very cool. But also with premium houses too, they also have specialty hooks. So like some of them you can actually use or show off your cosmetic pets or even your steeds, but you do have to have specialty like hooks available that you get as well to do that. But with premium houses, they have that capability. Regular houses, not so much. You're pretty limited with the newer decorations, I would say, or even with like more usable features or almost like crafting materials. So definitely with premium houses, there is a huge benefit to them. I mean, they're bigger, better, awesome. But, you know, you can also use different decoration types, put in cooler kind of cosmetic things to it, show off your collections tab, and also just have a more customized experience for your house. Another thing that's cool with some of the premium houses, depending on which one you get as well, some of them actually have like their own integration on things. So what I mean by that is in Lindleby, for example, some of the houses that you get, you could actually have a room that has like a river flowing through it. It's so cool. Like you could have a waterfall. I know with my Erebor house, I specifically buy this house that has like crystal caves in it. It's so pretty, but you have to pay extra for those. And then I know like in Rohan, there's even like a house that has a watchtower. So like you could literally have really cool features that are just integrated with your house, but normally those houses do cost a little bit more. I will mention real quick too that Kinship houses are available for both the regular housing selection or even the premium housing selections as well. And then real quickly before I hop into the game to show you a little bit more about how to set up like permissions for your house, like who can go in and out of your house, I will also specify how you can get decorations. So decorations are honestly pretty easy to get in this game. You can actually buy them in some of like the housing hub areas or neighborhoods like we were talking about. And then also you could get some from festivals. You can pay for some in the LOTRO store if you really want to. And there are some really cool things in the LOTRO store. But you can overall just kind of earn them even through certain bartering systems. I know like even the skirmish camps, for instance, they all have a barter that'll allow you to buy at least some sort of housing materials as well. So you can pretty much get decorations through a lot of different means or ways in this game. So I really wouldn't worry about having too little decorations to kind of work with. But yeah, there are housing carry-alls now for a reason, y'all, okay? All right, let me hop into the game and I'll show you where to go to buy a house. I'll show you the broker office in Bree that shows you all of the ways to tour a house or different neighborhoods that you might be interested in. And then I'll go over the permissions aspects with you and later about abandoning your house or potentially not paying your house, what happens then. All right, guys, so I am right outside of the broker office in Bree. If you don't know where the broker office is, it is right where my red dot is. It's closer to the South Bree stable master. But if we go inside to the office, this will show us a whole bunch of NPCs and books. Seems super overwhelming, I know. Just turn that off for you guys right now. But yeah, so in this office, all these different NPCs, you can essentially talk to them and go to different neighborhoods or tour houses. So I'll kind of show you how to do that real quick. But yeah, every single place, whether it's a premium house, whether it's a regular house, all of the locations are in this broker house office, which seems to be the easiest way to kind of get around when you're trying to go visit friends' locations. So for example, I'll just click on the Shire Homestead one. This shows me on the actual book on the ledger, it'll show me all the different neighborhoods and you can travel to them. But if you want to buy a house or you're interested in touring one, you could go talk to the NPC. Help you find something, friend. So the Shire housing broker here, and he'll show you all of the different available houses that you can purchase right now. So just to kind of give you a rundown here for regular houses, the first icon, this is actually going to be a like standard house or one of your smaller houses. And then the second one is a deluxe house, which should have more hooks available for you. And then there's also the Kinship house, which you obviously have to be a Kinship owner to purchase, or at least be in a Kinship to get it. So yeah, and then sort of the same thing too with the let's just go here to Rohan's. You can go look at the purchase a house section. And then here with Rohan, it's kind of special with the fact that there is a deluxe house and then also a big meat hall. So that's sort of like a bigger house for you as well, mostly for kinships, I believe. And then, yeah, same thing with like the Cape of Belfast. There are three types of houses. You can just hover over them. There's a stately house, which is going to be your smallest one. The luxurious house, which will be your like deluxe houses for the regular ones. And then also the Kinship house. So lots of different housing types. Kind of depends on the neighborhood. Like some of them could have like 4. I think Lindbley has 5. Let me go look actually, because they have a lot. Yeah, they've got 5, so make sure you just kind of hover over them. It'll sort of tell you the difference between them, and it'll show you how many available in that neighborhood and their pricing for you too. So let's just go check out, let me go check out a regular house area real quick. So here I'm actually going to go tour one of the standard houses for Breland area, so let's go do that. And just like that, it'll port me right in front of the house that I just clicked on. Like maybe there's something with that house. I'm like, yo, I love this house. I love its location. I'm not going to be bothered by neighbors. And I have a nice little like, you know, river kind of in the way. So yeah, and then you can actually go inside the house and you can kind of see what the house looks like from the inside. It's really not much for the standard houses. It's normally like 1 or 2 rooms. So it's enough to kind of get you by, and you'll get a chest or storage that will pop up for you in your house once you purchase it. But that's just sort of the layout of the house and how you can tour it. So once you say whether or not you like the house, you can click on it and you can just buy it. And once you buy it, you're going to get your own little milestone to pop up like this one. And then you'll also have the permissions to decorate it, and you'll start seeing all these little pop up like hooks. I will mention too with housing is that each house has some sort of upkeep. It's a weekly upkeep. So essentially it's like paying a mortgage or paying your rent every week. The only exception though is if you have an active VIP subscription, you will have that waived on premium houses for you. So pretty good deal with the premium houses that you don't have to worry about this, because I know like if you take breaks from the game, you're probably like, oh, my house is still gonna be there. Not. It's gonna be locked out, closed out, and you're gonna have to go through all of this trouble of trying to get a house again and work through that. So keep that in mind with the regular houses specifically, that you have to keep up with the upkeep no matter what. But with active VIP subscriptions, that is waived for the premium houses. So it's a nice little perk there. All right, and then I'm gonna actually travel to one of my premium houses real quick. This is an interesting place to put my banner. Okay, and now I've made myself to my premium house. This one is the Eastfold Rohan house. It's the home of Staffelwamper. my fave girly. Looky, I have my little guard. She's kind of walking around. So cool. She's kind of looking in the wrong direction, but yeah, and just to kind of show you, like, normally the premium houses are a little bit bigger. This is a deluxe house, mind you, so that is kind of a little bit why my yard is so massive. But I have all of this space, which is pretty cool, and like I mentioned too, you can kind of show off your steeds or even your cosmetic pets, but I chose to show off a few of my favorite steeds. I freaking love this Mordor steed. This took forever to get. So that's just sort of the exterior of the house, or what you can kind of expect from a Eastfold Rohan house. Just to kind of show you what the decorations look like. So on your map, and I'm going to pull out my map so you guys can see it. So on my map, you'll actually see that there are these two icons for when you own a house that you'll have accessible to you. So this little one is to toggle decorations mode with the little, I don't know if it's like flowers. It's so hard to tell. It's so small and there's no way to scale it really. But if you trigger that, it'll, just as you can see, it'll kind of trigger all of your decoration hooks. So now I can click on these and I could start like adding in my cosmetic things, or, you know, just my overall housing decorations. And each hook has almost like a different factor to it. So like the yard hooks are pretty much like the standard hooks, but then there are some decorations that might be so massive, you'll have to put them in a certain hook type. So for example, this is a huge yard hook, and then there's an enormous yard hook. So that's just to kind of keep in mind too, that certain hooks might be bigger or hold just certain objects, and I'll kind of show you that in a minute. But the real importance here that I wanted to show you guys wasn't really so much on toggling decoration mode, it was the housing management. So if you come in here, you can actually see like, this is my house, this is how much it costs me, and my upkeep and all of that. So, and you can even see like how many hooks I have, and you know, I have access to shared storage as well. And then there is also the maintenance. So that'll tell you how much you have to pay. This is normally where you should be paying your housing costs. If not, you can always go in your character panel and just click on house. And then through here, you could pay your upkeep there as well. But that's just another way to access that. The big thing here though is permissions. So for me, as I'm the owner, I should have permissions to everything, right? So I can come into my house, I can use my storage chest, I can, you know, pay my fees and stuff on it. And then I could also add in decorations, I can use the decorations, and I can also change permissions for everybody else. So you can even add in specific people. So if you want to add in a particular player to have a specific set of permissions, you can do it that way. But for everyone, normally what I do is I just allow them to come into my house so that they can actually see my house. They can see the inside. If you don't want that, you can always trigger that off so no one can go into your house but you or your characters. And then I also allow it for people to use the decorations. So if they're able to use the decorations, like for example, there are kegs I have where people can drink from kegs and then they can get teleported. There's also more teleporting like things that I have in my house, and then there's just a few like random ones that are just kind of cute. So that's sort of what I normally trigger for everyone. But if you do have like kin members, for example, who are your officers, who you trust, you can include to give them maintenance or even like storage accessibility. So the storage accessibility is for anybody to go into your storage and essentially take what they need from it. People can add or use whatever's in there as long as it's not bound. And then, yeah. Pretty much with the decorations as well, anybody can come in and then rearrange your whole house too if you wanted to. And so that's pretty much the huge thing about permissions. Just make sure whoever you give permissions to, you trust, because they can literally take everything that they want and even sell your house if you give them those permissions, and there's nothing you can really do about that. Anyway, I'm going to toggle my decorations and just quickly kind of show you what I mean by the different decoration types. So let me pop out my housing carry-all, because of course I need one of those. I have way too many housing things. So in my housing carry-all, you can see I have a lot of different things. For example, I have a stone lily tub. I have two actually, but I want to use this tub, right? So I'm going to place it in my yard, which guess what? It fits perfectly on a yard slot because it's small enough to fit for that. And also the big benefit too is that it could also fit my huge yard slot, because I mean my huge yard slot is huge and it works. And it can even go on the enormous large slot as well for you. But as you can see too, if I hover over certain things, it'll tell me like what particularly it could fit on. So there are some things that are furniture items that can fit on a furniture hook, but some of them are wall items as well. So then that's kind of how you differentiate like what can go in what slot. If you just hover over it, you'll see. I'll go inside and show you real quick. So like here, I'm inside my house, and as you can see, there are wall items here. I don't know. Let's grab a banner, right? Because, yeah, you're like a banner can go on the wall. Well, unfortunately, it can't. It's not glowing. There normally is like a little like border that'll kind of rotate and glow for you if it can slot in. But this one is not actually a wall item. It's actually a furniture item. So what I'm going to do instead is click on my little furniture item hook. And then as you can see, hey, it's glowing. It can fit there. Heck, even the stone lily pond tub can. Crazy. And then whoop, I can hang my banner, and then you can rotate your stuff, can move it back and forth. You can even lift it up if you want to, or you know, just move it side to side. So it's pretty simple on how to do it. You get a lot of flexibility, and just make sure you hit save when you go to actually save down your banner. But I'm not actually come back. I don't want that there. But that's sort of how like the toggle decoration works in the housing area. And real quickly, here's one of the little like housing hubs in the regular area. I'm actually just traveled to the elf side of the arid Lewin regular housing that you are able to get. I will mention as well, with premium houses, you can own multiple premium houses. But with a regular house, you can only purchase one type of regular house. So that's sort of another big perk with premium houses versus regular houses, is that premium, you can have multiple, which means more storage. But with a regular one, you can only have one of the types. So kind of keep that in mind too. But real quickly, let's talk about what happens when you fail to pay your upkeep on your house. So if you fail to pay your upkeep on your house, you will get a lockout notice. If you fail to, I guess, look at your maintenance tab, you should almost get like red font that's like pay, you know, now near this date, because it's coming up. But once you hit the point where it's past that due date, then you will get like a lockout notice where you are not able to access your house. Like you can't go in, you can't access the storage chest or anything of the such. They aren't destroyed, they're just inaccessible to you. And then what happens then is that you have about like 90 days after the initial date that you were locked out. You have 90 days to sort of pay this restoration fee. So it's essentially like, you know, a fee for not paying. And then if you pay that fee, you're then going to have to catch up on all the future like upkeep amount that you then going forward need to pay. But if you do not pay that restoration fee within that 90 days, then you will foreclose or essentially lose your house. So when that happens, all of your items will go into this thing called escrow. And if you click on the escrow broker, they'll show you what might be available, if you have anything available, which I actually don't, because I haven't run into this issue yet. But they will like pop up all of your things from your housing storage chest, and then you can then grab it and put it in your inventory from there. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you do lose your house, your stuff isn't gone. It's just in this escrow broker, which normally it's not really like plain as day, like, hey, your stuff's in escrow. Like, they're not going to keep reminding you. It's just something that you kind of have to need to know. Like, they'll tell you in a letter, I believe, when they tell you like, hey, we left you out of your house, like it's foreclosed on. So that means you can actually go and rebuy the house if you want. Anyone could buy the house after you lose it, so keep that in mind too. It could be a way. So that is just sort of how that works if you fail to, you know, pay your dues, pay your rent, pay your mortgage, you know? In other words as well, you can choose to abandon your house which if you choose to abandon your house, you will not get a refund for regular housing, but same thing should happen. If you do have stuff in your house, then it should be going into the escrow broker for you. You can also choose to sell your house if you have a premium house, which if you choose to do that, you can actually get your currency back. So normally, if you paid like LOTRO for it, for example, you will have to get the currency back in RITs, but it's actually a funny time when I'm filming this because RITs are actually changing into homesteading coins in a way. So you should get your refund back either in RITs or in homesteading coins. For future purposes, we're just going to say homesteading coins because that's how it's going to be. So you'll get a refund back of 90% of the total value of your house in homesteading coins. So then you can take that and then go and purchase another kind of house or whatever you'd like with it. But make sure that you sell your house for premium houses so you can get that. And then with the regular houses, unfortunately, you don't get any of your coin back, but you still get your items back just as much for the premium houses as well. And real quickly too, I just want to specify that RITs and homesteading coins are, like I mentioned earlier, almost like a currency that you have to spend LOTRO points in order to get. They're not really earned or given in the game by doing other extracurriculars. You just have to buy them in the LOTRO store. RITs though, however, they were the previous currency or almost like an alternative to LOTRO coins that you could use to purchase premium houses, but that is actually going away. With homesteading coins, these serve the same exact function. The only difference is that homesteading coins are going to offer more value in terms of you don't have to just spend it on premium houses. So like with RITs, you had them, but you could only spend them on a premium house and there wasn't anything else, right? With the homesteading coins, you can buy them on premium houses, and then they'll also have like certain select like housing items that you can potentially purchase with homesteading coins as well. But that's all sort of like newer, so you know, I don't really have so many examples to show you of that, but it's the same kind of currency, same concept. It's just homesteading coins can do more, so that's sort of why they're going in towards that sort of change for their currency. But that is all. I hope that I answered all of your housing questions, and if you have any more, please let me know down in the comments. I will be responding to as many as I possibly can. But I do hope that this gave you some kind of clarity of what you can do, what the difference is between a regular house and a premium house, and where you can go get them. So make sure you have shelter. That is the number one important thing for all of us to keep on living and breathing, right? Same thing for your characters. They gotta have shelter, y'all. But anyway, until next time, you better stay weird, you weird weirdos.